It's time for your fan weather forecast brought to you by Habish and Rotier. Sunny conditions today, but rain this evening with a high of 45 degrees. It's currently 34 degrees here in Milwaukee.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to go along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Crowd is here about to blow. Waiting for me.
Who we playing, Trevor?
Sweden.
Yeah, you're damn right, Sweden. In the Olympics.
Now Quinn Hughes, we played 3.5 minutes in overtime. Quinn Hughes shoots, he scores! He scores! Quinn Hughes in overtime wins it, and the United States will move on and face Slovakia in the semis.
Take that, Sweden. Overtime victory for Team USA. How amazing was that? And how amazing is this song? I would have never thought about Freebird going, yeah, you know what? Let's use that as the anthem for sure. Boy, does it fit. USA 2, Sweden 1, overtime. What's up, Wisconsin? It is going to be a Team USA day today inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. I mean, the men are normally pretty good, but the women also go for gold today, Josh.
Yeah. Today's the big day for, I think, the better of the two teams, if we're being completely honest.
Right.
I know that the focus might be more on the men's just because, I don't know, that's where people have looked in the past. But this U.S. women's team deserves way more attention and credit because they are killing it, but they still need one more. Got to win today.
Killing everybody they play. 5 straight shutouts for Team USA on the female side of the bracket. And that is a part of all things Wisconsin sports because there are Badgers on both sides of the rink, which is annoying. We'll talk about it. Time to play catch up.
Packers.
We're still processing the Rich Bisaccia thing from the other day. I mean, it's confusing. We talked about this ad nauseum yesterday, and it was probably needed. So, yet, there's a lot unknown. Where do we go now? Who are we going to get? What do our special teams need to look like, and how do we fix whatever they didn't look like? There's just something to be said, Josh, about 2 out of the 3 coordinator positions revamping this offseason. I understand that one was on his own. Actually,
both.
I was thinking, well, but where are they both?
Well, but that's my problem, right? Is that the Packers have lost a decent amount of people in the coaching staff this season. None of them, to my knowledge, have been the Packers' decision. Every single person has been picked off, gone, made a bigger offer, promotion somewhere to move to a different team, or, in the case of Bisaccia, to just step down and call it a day. There's been nothing, to my knowledge, again, it could have been a minor coach, someone that I didn't see, who the Packers said, no, we're moving on from this guy because we're done with him.
Do the Packers have a culture problem?
I mean, we've sure talked about that a lot. I think it's they have as much as you love change, I don't know that the Packers do.
From top down.
Yeah.
Even though the biggest change, I guess, in the last 16-ish years happened this offseason with the president changeover to Ed Policy. Yeah, I would imagine that in tradition, this is the way we've always done it, and that's worked for us. So let's just keep doing what we're doing. Now, has it worked to the position it needs to work? Probably not, according to some for sure. But nonetheless, yeah, 2 out of the 3. That's an interesting take, Josh. That's going to make me think for a hot second. Maybe that's one of the I have questions tomorrow. Is there anything that we can put a finger on in regards to there potentially being a culture problem at the Green Bay Packers?
Well, and this is the thing that, if you listen to Aaron Nagler, or, some of these other guys that, make good points when I'm being an emotional fan, that they say, yeah, the reason why that's the case is because the Packers make great hires. And so they don't have to move on from people. They just get the other side of the coin of knowing, yeah, we found a good one, but that person's going to get paid to go do a lot greater things somewhere else as soon as someone else discovers how great they are.
Which is what you want.
That is what you want, but it's also not because the Packers have won 3 Super Bowls in a row, right? Like that's the difference, is that you can tout all you want how fantastic the Packers organization is, that we are title town, that all of these things exist. 7 seed exit, 7 seed exit, 7 seed exit. Not necessarily living up to that hype.
And the coordinators that have gone on to become head coaches, or the less than coordinators that have gone on to become coordinators, how has their success been? I mean, we know Nathaniel Hackett, not so hot in Denver.
Right.
Halfly off to Miami. Luke Getsy went to Chicago. Then the Raiders, now back in the QB room, and he was offensive coordinator in both spots, I believe.
Yep.
We'll do a little research on that in our now to tomorrow morning and see if we can't come up with something. We'll make that an I have question portion tomorrow. Do the Packers have a culture problem? And is there anything to look into here in regards to coaches leaving on their own? Maybe, maybe not. But boy, conspiracy, that's what we do best. Nonetheless, still processing the Rich Bisaccia piece. Brewers. I want to meet the person that's in charge of the Brewers' social media.
Yeah, they do good work.
Seriously, goosebump work. Every single video we see that they post to their social media is goosebump worthy, including this one that came out yesterday.
Call us whatever you want, underdog. Call us whatever the hell you want. We found out what matters is who's in this room. What we got in this room, we can do anything we want. We're about people. We're about team. Wherever you're from, whatever color you are, whatever you believe in, as long as you want to commit to winning baseball. Not Major League Baseball's way of saying, on paper, this team is this. We don't care. This is who we want to become. We're going to pitch, we're going to make strong, we're going to defend, play offense. That's how we do it. And we don't worry about what anybody thinks. We stick to our standards, and you'll have it covered. Incredible season. And don't be shocked.
Don't be shocked.
Don't be shocked.
Put it on a t-shirt right now.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh, that's amazing. Pat Murphy. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that you run through a wall for.
Yeah, that guy, there's something about that guy. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Manager of the year, 2 years in a row, knows what he's doing from a culture standpoint. That's interesting, Josh. There is not a person on the planet that would look at the Milwaukee Brewers and question their culture. And who sets the tone?
Who the coach, the manager. Yeah, Pat Murphy.
Do we get that tone from Matt LaFleur?
Oh boy. Here we go.
Sorry.
Here we go.
Go on, move on.
Okay. Badger fans don't like you talking about Matt LaFleur either.
Badgers.
Too soon. Too soon. The only Badgers that we need to worry about today are the Badgers playing hockey for Team USA. That's all they do.
That's it.
This thing is on repeat.
I want to hear
Team
this
USA.
a lot. I want to hear it a lot today.
Remember, 5 in a row of 5 shutout games for Team USA, including a 5-0 shutout against Canada earlier in the Olympics. Against Canada today to win gold. I was unaware of this, and so I'm not going to cheer for them, but I'll at least be aware of who they are. There are a lot of Badgers on Team Canada. 5. I did not know that.
No.
I mean, we love them. We have questions.
Well, I mean, I don't have to like them right now.
No, that's what I'm saying. We love them, but not, I mean, I don't like them today.
You know, I think it was Jerry Seinfeld who said, you're cheering for the jersey. You're cheering for the uniform. And that's the case here.
4 players on Team USA for the Badgers. Layla Edwards, who we've talked about a lot, set history earlier this year. Caroline Harvey, Ava McNaughton, Kirsten Sims, and there are former Badgers too, including Captain Hillary Knight. 6 in total. 12-10 Central today, Team USA versus Canada, wherever you watch your Olympics. I would be willing to bet it's the feature on whatever platform you watch your Olympics on.
Absolutely, it will be.
I love it when the Olympics provide moments where we look at our calendar and make sure we can watch.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and let's be honest, it doesn't happen a lot, right? Like some U.S. Olympian can win gold, but it's not like we're watching monobob to see, Elena Myers-Taylor, who we talked about the other day. Like, I don't think that people saw that and went, ooh, okay, I got to cancel that meeting because I got to watch that. We loved seeing it. We watched the highlights, but it wasn't, to your point, that I need to cancel a meeting and do nothing but sit in front of a TV.
I have a meeting at 1:00 today that I'm not going to cancel, but I will be glued the moments before and immediately after. Remember a time, Josh, and I'm not aging me or you, but when I was young and there was literally no way of finding out Olympic news, you watched the Olympics as a family at night because there was no other option. And you didn't know if they won earlier. If you did, it was like, hey, earmuffs, if you don't want to know this news. But there was no social media that told us that Team USA won the gold at 12 today. You watched the game with your family at night when they played it back.
Or even when it was on TV, even if it was on TV live, it was, when you were at school or work, it wasn't on your phone. You weren't streaming it. It was literally on the television. And unless you happen to, I don't know, be in a doctor's office or something else, you weren't seeing it. And so you had to tune into prime time to see the replay of what had happened even on TV earlier that day.
Coming up in I Have Questions, we want to know, would you pay Giannis the Supermax and give him 10% of the team? Shaq talked about that. On to the Bucks.
Bucks.
I don't know, man. That seemed a bit aggressive. Shaq made an appearance on ESPN Radio's morning show, Unsportsmanlike, the national morning show, and he said, pay Giannis all the money and give him 10% of the team.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, no, we'll get into it. We'll get into that for sure. And just even more than just Giannis, just the idea of doing that, looking at that as an option, because us as, looking at our fan bases, when we find a guy, boy, we certainly don't like we hold on to him. We love them because we know we're not going to have a team of 12 of those guys. We have that guy. And so I think that that's an interesting conversation to have.
Who has potentially qualified for that in the past in regard to sports here in Wisconsin? Looking back, would we consider giving a piece of the franchise to a particular player to keep them? We should note, not legal, but fun to dream.
Yeah, well, and as you'll hear Shaq say in the next segment, loopholes.
There's also current players outside of Giannis Antetokounmpo that may qualify for this conversation. That's the I Have Questions portion of the show that's coming up in just a few. Get your thoughts in now on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 12:50. Anything else?
Anything else?
Yeah, Marquette lost again at home last night to St. John's, 76-70. I feel like the scores are narrowing.
I'm curious if Shaka knows that, like, you can't tank in college basketball. Like, you don't get a better pick in college.
I don't think he's choosing to tank.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of
that's
fact,
unfortunate.
I fully expect Marquette to find a big bag of money, just like the Wisconsin football program did. We'll see how that shakes out for them. But nonetheless, a tough one for Marquette, just in general this season. And something else of note that's meaningful to this program and so many of you listening, Doug Gottlieb was announced yesterday, was suspended for one game Friday, Oakland. Meaningful. We'll play some audio from his press conference later in the show at 8 a.m. Kyle Malzahn, Channel 5, WFRV TV here in Green Bay, is all over GB basketball. He was the one that actually posted the video of the crash out when it happened on Sunday. And then that's when it went viral, and the rest is history. So many people, though, Josh, with a one-game suspension like Doug Gottlieb just got, are saying, that's overkill. All he did was crash out. He didn't go at anybody physically. He simply talked about what this meant verbally. Now, aggressively, for sure, but there's a story from earlier, not this year, but potentially last year, the year before. Greg Campy, the head coach of Oakland, ironically, physically went after, from my understanding, one of the refs and got a one-game suspension. DG blows a gasket in front of a microphone and got a one-game suspension. I have questions.
Yeah, and I have thoughts then. And listen, unlike Doug, who we had Doug on the show yesterday. If you missed it, you can go to WI Sports Radio or wherever you podcast the show. You can. We had him for 2 segments actually. You can listen to the whole time that we talked to Doug. But I had said it seemed like Doug was a little bit more buttoned up, apologetic, realized he'd made a mistake, blah blah, all that other stuff. And I was sitting there going, man, I don't think so. Like, I think that the Horizon League just is making stupid decisions. I think it was a terrible decision. And I think it made the Horizon League just look immature. It made them look like, yeah, we're not usually in this place. We're not usually getting national media attention. We don't really know how to handle these. You know what? Let's act like big parent. Hey. I'm not usually home to see you do your homework, but since I am today, you're in trouble, mister. Why don't you have a seat? That's how it came across to me. It was a bad look, and it was an immature look from the Horizon League. Boo.
Doug had a lot to say about that in his press conference yesterday. We'll talk to Kyle about that. He was there for the whole thing. Apologetic, yes. Forced apology, yeah, but also apologetic on his own. And also, to Josh's point, hey, if you really want the Horizon League to matter, and Doug went into a whole bunch of comparisons about this in his presser in regards to the Valley Conference or the MAC. Why is it the Horizon League where they need to be in terms of that? Well, it kind of has something to do with this. That's coming up at 8 o'clock. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line flying this morning. The first text of the day about Doug Gottlieb. Kirsten from GB. Good morning, Kirsten. She says, morning mind dump, and I have questions all together here. The Dougie G suspension just seems excessive. My question is, does he still travel with the team? Because if not, there should be a local watch party with him for tomorrow's game. So that's a fascinating question, Kirsten, and I have an answer. The answer is yes, he does travel with the team. However, he cannot be in the building at Oakland, and he can't even go to the shoot-around. So they actually asked him in the press conference yesterday, what are your plans? And Doug's like, I have no idea. So in true Trevor form, Josh, I went and looked up flights. And I found a flight to fly to Detroit tomorrow, stay in the team hotel, watch the game with Doug, and fly back before my son's game on Saturday. Oh, dad of the year. No, there's a pep rally for my youngest son in his last weekend of basketball ever.
Yeah, you ain't going nowhere.
I ain't going nowhere. However, Kirsten, I plan to reach out to UWGB today to see if we can host an online watch party. I have no idea if Doug has any interest in this, so don't get our hopes up here. But how fun would that be? How amazing of access would that be to watch a game with Coach Gottlieb virtually? He's going to be in a hotel room somewhere, someplace, somehow, and be able to watch the game with him. Now, streamings and delays and all those things, it's probably a bigger bite to chew than we think it is, but I'm going to see it through today. I've got some time in the car, 4 hours, and I'm going to make some calls, and we'll see. It's going to start with Doug, and he might be like, that is the stupidest thing ever. I'm not doing that. Okay, cool. I'm glad I started with you.
Yeah.
Anything else on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line? Look at this. My goodness, you guys are awake and alive today. This is awesome. 920, they better have a good social media department at the Brewers because they haven't been to a World Series since a year I was born, and I'm getting gray hairs in my beard. I hear you. I was born in 83.
Yeah, it's because they're putting all their money into the social media team. Great argument.
The 608, Pat Murphy is the best. Matt LaFleur, I would bump into a wall for him. This is Dewey in Milton. That's funny. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is some intense cross-country skiing that NBC will need to show while the hockey game is happening. Yeah, not so much. Annie, I believe Jordan Stoll's goals for his third goal today, too, but I don't know what time. We'll look that up and let you know. Do we give Giannis a portion of the Bucks and or the Supermax? Where are we at with that? Shaq had some interesting points. We'll play that audio for you and discuss in I Have Questions when we come back. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Good morning.
Here's the plan. We get the warhead and we hold the world ransom for $1 million.
Well, don't you think we should maybe ask for more than $1 million? $1 million isn't exactly a lot of money these days. Virtucon alone makes over $9 billion a year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. Okay, then. We hold the world ransom for $100 billion.
Welcome back, Wisconsin, Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor and Josh, little Dr. Evil, talking about money and how much we can hold someone ransom for. Back in 1969, he says $100 billion. In 1969, not so much, but definitely more than $1 million. Austin Powers 2, I believe.
Yep.
Which leads us to the I have questions portion of the show. It came out that Giannis and the Supermac and 10% of the team, that was Shaq's idea. And as you might think, Josh and I, we have questions.
When things just don't add up, Trevor and Josh ask the hard questions or just point out how messed up stuff is.
I only have one question.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
Do you view this season as a failure?
You asked me the same question last year.
What's the most important question the Badgers have to answer Saturday?
This is a great question. Oh my God, this is a great question.
It's time for I Have Questions on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
The Nicolay Law talk and text line 414-677-1250. Your questions there, please. Any question, we'll answer them. Ish. And
I mean, we'll answer them. They might not be right, but we're
100% answering them. Yeah. So, what do you think of this, Josh? Shaq came out on Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio and said that they should sign Giannis to a supermax and give him 10% of the organization to keep him in Milwaukee. Here's what it sounded like.
Shaq, what would you do if you were Giannis right now?
Tell Milwaukee to pay me a supermax and give me 10% of the team so I can stay. If not, I'm out.
That is currently not legal within the NBA. Do you think it should be in terms of players should get percentages of teams as active players?
Not legal, but, there's loopholes.
Yeah, there's loopholes. There are ways.
Okay.
All right, you want me to go first?
Of course.
All right. I know what everyone's going to think. Oh, Josh loves Giannis. It's an easy decision. We all know what he's going to say. And you're 100% right. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
No, give him 1,000%. Now, if we take this a step further and we go, all right, let's go beyond Giannis. Let's go let's go Aaron Rodgers. Let's go Christian Yelich. Let's go
maybe
name any other Jordan Love. I don't care. Take a pick. Name any other athlete. The answer is no. And here is why Giannis is the exception.
Oh my God.
Because the Bucks organization as a whole was not sustainable. It was not in a profitable position before Giannis. And I have legitimate fears that once Giannis is gone, whether traded, free agency, or otherwise, it will not be again. It is going to be difficult for a team like Milwaukee in the NBA that already gets bashed on, right? Like the national media and could just leave us alone at the very least, but no positive thing that I can ever remember has come from the national media on the Milwaukee Bucks. It's never been that way. If they're now not winning, I promise you the conversation will be they should sell the team. They should move the team. Jimmy Haslam should move the team out of Milwaukee. He has no ties to Milwaukee. He has nothing that he needs it there for. Those will be the conversations. Giannis was the one that literally revitalized the Bucks. He has not only he's stayed, he has expressed his love for Milwaukee, there is absolutely no reason why Giannis should not be a part of that organization. And it's also not like a Churio situation to where we're saying, hey, we just drafted this guy. He's only been in the league for 2 years, but we know he's going to be something, so let's give him 10% of the team. No, that's not it at all. How long do you think Giannis is playing basketball for? He's not playing for another 12 years. So
we'd like him to play now.
Well, sure.
First.
But even more to my point of I would like him even when he's gone to still be a part of the Bucks. Be not saying that he's making the decisions, right? Haslam has more power than Giannis does if he has 10%, but it's an investment. It's an investment in the organization beyond when he just laces up the sneakers. And it only works with Giannis with the Bucks.
Boy, I didn't see that coming. I'm not going to lie. Probably should have, though.
Yeah, he should have.
So the idea is, how do they keep Giannis in Milwaukee above and beyond a supermax? Because right now, that's the only thing an NBA team can offer, an employee. That's where I get that's where I have the problem. Offering a player 10% of a franchise just to keep them is a bit much, I think. I can see creating what some people call an ESOP, an employee stock ownership program, where an employee has the ability to become a part of the ownership group. I think it has to be something like 33 or 37%. The employees as a whole have to be able to own. Now, we're talking hypothetics here because at the end of the day, it's not legal in the NBA or frankly any other professional sport.
Correct.
Although somehow it's becoming weirdly legal in the NCAA, but I digress.
Fair.
The hardest part about this is it's an employee, right? So Giannis bought into the Brewers. He's a minority owner in the Milwaukee Brewers.
Correct.
If Giannis wanted to buy into the Bucks because that's how much he believes in the franchise, then I think we have a conversation to go, well, clearly Giannis doesn't care about a championship more than staying in Milwaukee. That should make sense. The idea of Shaq is almost a moot point, though, because we had just heard from Giannis over the weekend that said, love Milwaukee, want to win a championship in Milwaukee, but it doesn't matter if I can't, I'm out of here. I'm going to pivot. I have to pivot because I want that stake again. So it's an interesting conversation, right? Because, yes, Josh, everything about Giannis is the Bucks, the Fiserv Forum, and the Deer District, and the championship. It was really plausible because of Giannis Antetokounmpo. The same is true for Brett Favre and Reggie White. If they aren't Packers and they don't win the Super Bowl in 1996-97, oh, is that thing? 96-97? Does that qualify?
No, I think you're safe.
Bob Harlan doesn't have a shot in you know what to get that vote passed in Wisconsin, specifically Brown County, to raise the sales tax by 0.5% and completely remodel Lambeau Field, which completely remodeled the financial picture of the Green Bay Packers. So I see your Giannis argument, and I raise you Brett Favre and Reggie White. Now the difference there, of course, is that's already a community-owned team, and they most likely have stock certificates. Reggie, rest in peace.
I was going to say, you want to give Brett Favre, make him a team owner? Sure, him and I can both be team owners. That's the difference, right? The Packers are already such a unique and interesting situation there. I'm telling you, and they can put things in place, right? They can say like, yeah, you have investment in the team. That doesn't mean that he's going to have like power to do things as a player, make decisions. It's an investment. It's an investment in, as the organization grows, you also make more money. The value of the organization is now also tied to you. It's an incentive for not just Giannis, but for Giannis's love of Milwaukee and the Bucks. If he loves Milwaukee, if he wants to see Milwaukee continue to be prosperous and have a basketball team that is successful, if this was a legit possible situation, I don't see how having Giannis be a part of that plan is a bad thing. I don't see it. I don't see it.
So let's go to the other side of this argument, the Supermax side.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis said he wants to win a championship in Milwaukee.
Yep.
So what about him taking less than a Supermax deal so that it puts the Bucks in a position to actually surround him with people that are capable of helping Milwaukee win another NBA championship? Does that tell us anything about Giannis's decision and his future if he demands the Supermax, Josh?
That's an interesting question. I have not honestly gotten into the weeds as much as some other people have on just the caps and luxury tax situations of spending in the NBA in comparison to, baseball, which has nothing but a luxury tax. And then obviously we know the cap in the NFL. So I think that I don't know how much really changes if Giannis, shaved off some from the Supermax. Like, does that really equate to cool? Now we have, this plethora of money to go get whoever. I don't know that really pans out that way. I feel like in the NBA, it's more, no, we'll trade you 19 second round picks till 2063 to get this player. Like it's, those are more of the stories I see. So I think that also makes it kind of a bad look because of that from the Bucks. If the Bucks are now also playing we also don't have money on us. Like now you're throwing another argument against him, in comparison to listen, we love you. We're the only ones that can pay you this amount and we want to pay you that amount. Do not leave. That's what comes with making the Supermax offer.
But it's also simple math. There's only so much money to go around. And if Giannis says Supermax or I'm gone, that's kind of against what he just said the other day of I want to win in Milwaukee. There have been players in professional sports that have taken less money so that the team can surround that player with good people to win more championships.
But show me that in the NBA.
No, I'm just saying individually as a professional player. It happened with Tom Brady. Gilbert Brown did it here in Wisconsin.
Right. NFL has a pretty laid out salary cap. All the teams play with the same money. And
but the league is not the point. The point is the player. If the player wants to win another championship where they are, it is plausible to think that the player could take less money to set the team up in the city he loves to win another championship. It's just plausible.
Yeah, I don't know that it's apples to apples. It might be apples to oranges. We might still be playing with fruit, but I'm just not sure that's exactly the same layout when you're looking at, how much really the difference would be between what he would take and what the Supermax offer would be. And that difference is making it to where we can say, hey, we're going to go sign Kawhi because you took less money. And I will tell you this, if they do make that offer, they better have some players in mind that they can say, it seems like competing and winning a championship is more important to you than money. We're going to take this amount of money and go get you more guys.
How do we give gold medalists in the Olympics just a chunk of the state? Like, can they own the state that they come home to? Because I feel like that's worthy.
Yeah. Yeah, they should.
Michaela Schifrin doing insane things in alpine skiing, and Jordan Stolz goes for another gold today. The most electrifying sound of the day is next. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
It's time for
The most electrifying
sound of the day.
The most electrifying
On Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Brought to you by Best Electric. Learn more at bestelect.com. Don't stress. Connect with the best.
Increasing the lead. More than a second now for Schifrin.
Sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is hold back, and right now Schifrin is racing to open up her lead.
It's all right out in front of her. 2.5 is the lead for Schifrin. Everything that happened 4 years ago. Schifrin, just get to the line. And golden again at the Olympics.
And that highlight of Mikaela Shiffrin winning her third Olympic gold medal. Shout out to NBC and their Olympic coverage for the call. Is the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit bestelect.com. I did kind of love that call there, by the way, Trevor, of just like at the end where he's just like, just get to the line. Like, you got it. Just get there. And she did.
I believe that is her third Olympic gold overall.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I said. Third. She's got four. She's got four total.
That's it.
Third gold.
Roger that.
Yep.
Going for his third gold today, Jordan Stolz as well. 9:30 Central Wisconsin time. He's got the gold in the 500 meter.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the gold in the 1,000 meter.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just put those two together and grab the gold in the 1,500 meter. That would be his third, and then he's got one more in the event that is like a ski roller derby, like a skating roller derby. It's just crazy.
Yeah, insanity watching those. But here was something that came up when I was putting this together. Trevor, was, I'm putting this highlight together. I'm listening to this. Mikaela Shiffrin, she wins gold, but you don't hear Freebird in the background, right? And I realized, I'm like, oh yeah, right. Like, that's just for the hockey teams. Like, they just play that, and it's like same thing with Stolz. Like, it's not like after he won, so it's not like Freebird is like the, hey, anytime the U.S. does anything good, fire Freebird on the speakers, on the PA. It's just kind of seems to be a U.S. hockey thing. But that had me thinking, I was like, oh man, Mikaela Shiffrin, she needs to have one. I wonder what her song is. And then it had me thinking, what would mine be? What would yours be? And I want to know, for everyone listening on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network across the state right now, or across the world on one of the apps, I want to know, every time that you do something great, something good happens, if a song just started playing out loud, what would you want that song to be? And there's an important distinction here. This is not your walk-up song. Mm-hmm. This is not your get hyped pre-game song. This is not your get dialed in, locked in, whatever it is song. This is your celebratory. You just scored a goal. You just closed that big deal. You just changed that baby's diaper. You just, whatever it is throughout life, what would be your boom, I nailed it, celebratory song? We want to know.
That's coming up later in the show, 7:25. So you've got some time. Let us know what your song would be when you win or score or victory. Very different and hard, by the way, to pick one.
Yeah.
Like, I spent an hour on shuffle last night. Ridiculous.
Now, see, part of this might just be because I was a producer in a past life, where my job was to just try to find, specifically, like, that was it, find the music to go with certain situations. So I consider myself like a lyricist. I definitely have music that plays in my head depending on the situation.
Oh, I've got music, buddy. I just don't have the ability to pick one or two, or sometimes
it's
20.
The indecision.
Yeah, God, bad. If you've spent any time with me anywhere, there's music and I'm in control of the music, I skip a lot. I play the first minute and a half, 2 minutes. I'm like, all right, on to the next. It annoys the living you-know-what out of my wife. But that's what I ran into last night. Like, oh, this is a great song. All right, this is it. I wonder what the next one is. Skip.
Well,
oh my God, this is a great song.
Yeah, but the nice thing is that it's not the whole song, right? It's not like every time the U.S. hockey team scores, they're playing all 9 minutes of Freebird. Like they're just hitting it to that point that we play that get you amped up. So you can skip ahead. You can skip ahead in this hypothetical situation where the speakers appear out of nowhere and start blaring music behind you to the main part of the song. But let us know.
Did. That's exactly what I did, and that's exactly what Team USA did. They picked the part of Freebird that's like the kick-in portion. That's 4 minutes and 45 seconds into Freebird.
Correct.
That all came, by the way, out of a junior championship team in 2025. Team USA's U20 team picked their goal song on the fly. About Leonard Skinner, Freebird. And they picked it while the team was on the bus. And the room was like, nailed it. So that's where all of that comes from. And it is a sensation and perfect for all of the reasons you would expect.
We already have some coming in here on the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. We want you to get yours in 414-677-1250. That again, coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, 7:25, we will play some of these, kind of go through what would be yours. What would be your song? It doesn't need to be tied to athletics. Like I said, maybe it's just like, it could literally be anything in your life. You closed a big deal. You're in sales. You I don't know, you parented like super hard that day. Boom, music starts playing. What is it? What would you want that song to be?
Before we chat about that, though, coming up in the morning mind dump, along with whatever you got to get off your chest and out of your head, I accidentally poked the bear the other day and said that Giannis wasn't in his prime anymore because he's so injury prone. And Josh was like, well, now we're fighting.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Coming up in the morning mind dump, what Wisconsin athletes right now are in their prime? Packers, Brewers, Badgers, Bucks. Pick any team that the majority of us would recognize and tell us a player that's in their prime or maybe more.
And what defines prime? What defines someone's prime? Because that's a whole nother argument. Is it just being successful? Is it age? What is it?
Is it just play? Is it the ability to stay on the court or the field? Let us know. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line 414-677-1250, along with your celebration song. Get those in now. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. I have like 93.
We'll play 3.
King Soopers always gives you more ways to save, like low prices in every aisle. Plus, you can clip and save more with.
This is the store that's right over there.
We talk about your work, how your boss is a jerk, you've been having a lover. About your skin and the talk about your style. But every once in a while, I want to talk about me, want to talk about I, want to talk about I. I want to talk about me, want to talk about I want to talk about.
I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, it's great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Yeah, you're damn right. Sweet. In the Olympics. Now Quinn Hughes. We played 3.5 minutes in overtime. Quinn Hughes shoots. He scores! He scores! Quinn Hughes in overtime wins it. And the United States will move on and face Slovakia in the semis.
What is up, Wisconsin? Welcome in Inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht, and the ting of a goal that hits the pipe. A great sound in sports, just as this has become one. Freebird, audio courtesy of NBC Olympics.
And Leonard Skinner.
USA 2, Sweden 1. An overtime victory yesterday sends Team USA on. And today, 12 p.m. Central, the women's Team USA plays for the gold against Canada. Get your W's ready, America. A lot more to come, including the W for the University of Wisconsin. Shout out to Layla Edwards, Caroline Harvey, Ava McNaughton, Kirsten Sims, Hillary Knight, Britta Curl Salemi. Those are the Badgers involved with Team USA. We'll talk about Team Canada's Badgers later, not now. How about that?
No, like post-Olympics.
But right now, we talk about the morning mind dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports, the Nicolay Law fan talking text line, 414-677-1250. The coffee has kicked in, and we need to get some things off our chest.
I have voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
The coffee has kicked in. We're awake and ready to roll. Let's get some things off our chest and out of our heads.
You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm in a glass case of emotion.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We've got no food, we've got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off!
It's time for the morning mind dump on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
414-677-1250. We teased it a bit ago. What is your celebratory song? We heard it there, Freebird. That's the one that Team USA has picked every time they score a goal. Good thing it's all digital now, because we would have worn that record out in Italy.
Oh, for sure.
So many songs coming in for the next segment at 7:25. What song is your celebratory song? I'm pretty sure that this is going to be the rest of the hour after we talk about what makes a player in their prime.
I'm worried about the computer. I'm honestly, as I'm trying to load all these during breaks, I'm like, come on, baby, stay with me. Don't
I'm
crash
worried about
now.
Cuss words.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just telling you right now, like if the song you send in is one that, you know, the radio play of it is, hey, I'm not playing it. It's got, okay, just realize we're still on the radio. So
I couldn't tell if that was you or Doug Gottlieb's video interview.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez. All right, so what does it mean for a player to be in their prime? This is a morning mind dump that kind of came up in general conversation just a few days ago when I said that I wasn't sure that Giannis is in his prime. And anytime I bring up the name that starts with a G and ends in a nis, it's like Josh goes, okay, now we're going to go at it.
Yep.
So
let's
just set the bar here for a moment. What does it mean for a player to be in their prime? Here are the things that I wrote down.
Okay.
Number one, elite performance that is sustained over and over and over. meaning you can count on this player in their prime to perform many times, over and over and over.
Okay.
Number 2, physical peak and or durability, meaning can we count on this player to stay healthy so they can sustain their elite performance? Number 3, they have a skill that they have mastered. You can see it in the player, whether it's a 3 in Steph Curry or a home run in Ryan Braun, or pick a different player with something they're going to come to the table with. 2 more. Number 4, mental/strategic peak, meaning how are their mentals? Take care of your, chickens?
Yep.
And your mentals.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of players that play really well, but you can tell
they're a little crazy.
A little bit.
Yep.
Liability. Rodman.
# liability. Yeah.
Right. Sometimes A++ players are a huge liability, which would lead you to believe, well, that's not exactly your peak, is it? And lastly, do they have an impact, a high impact on the team winning? That is what I believe makes an elite player, or in the case of conversation, something that says, whoa, that player is in their prime.
Okay. I think it's a little unrealistic to be all those. I kind of looked at it and there's two ways. The number one way that you say someone's in their prime is age. Because if someone gets injured, you still say, man, and that guy was in his prime. And it wasn't because they were sustaining success. It was because they had given flashes of what they could be. And then based on their age, you say they were in their prime. That was their prime. That was their peak. And they didn't hit it because they got injured or whatever it was. So age is like the biggest one. I think also when we just talk about, each other, just, your average Joe, well, you should have seen me in my prime. Hey, rec basketball back in my day, back in my prime. Oh, hey, I could hold my own at the YMCA. Let me tell you, those are how we use those terms. So that's the first one, is age. Then there's the saying of, it would seem like he is still in his prime. You say still, which means tail end of, meaning maybe he shouldn't still be performing the way he is or she is, but they are. Meaning, hey, this person deserves this contract. This person deserves these accolades because they are still in their prime. Meaning this isn't like they're on the up, going upwards. They're everyone's ready for them to go down, but they haven't yet. They're still up. That is not age. That is, you'd be past the prime of your age, but you're still performing that way. After that, it's just you're past your prime. Those are the 3 stages of, in my opinion, prime. First is you're young. You look at, I think about Jabari Parker, right? Jabari Parker came into the Bucks. He was, when the Bucks got a top 3 draft pick, hey, Bucks got Jabari Parker. They're going to be something now. Guy could not stay healthy. Let's look. You want to do it now? Let's look at Garrett Mitchell. Is Garrett Mitchell in his prime? Right? No. There's a conversation. People will still say he's got a ton of potential. He's in his prime because of his age, because of what he can still do with youth. No one is saying he's still in his prime because he's not old. It's not like he's been doing this for 7 years. He's earning that next contract, and he's still doing things. He hasn't proven himself yet to be able to say that. And then you look at people like people were maybe starting to say about a Christian Yelich and going, is this guy past his prime? I don't know. We might have, the best years of Christian Yelich might be behind him. And then he comes out and he has a season like he did last year. So in my opinion, those are the 3 things that kind of define prime.
So based on all of that, in Wisconsin, who's in their prime and who's not in their prime? The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. Let's go right at the one that started this conversation in Giannis.
Yeah.
The 262 says Trevor's first point already knocked Giannis out of the prime talk because he can't perform at an elite level if he's not on the court. That's from Ziggy.
See, and that's what I'm saying, right away, I'm arguing with that. Because you cannot say that just because someone's injured, now they're no longer in their prime. If that was the case, then you're saying that Jabari Parker, when he was 22 years old, fresh out of college, he was already past his prime.
No.
I don't think that.
I don't think that's past. We're not arguing if they're past their prime. We're arguing, are they in their prime?
Well, but that's what I'm saying. There's 3 levels. You're either in your prime, still in your prime, or past your prime. That's it. Those are the 3 lanes.
So the question in the morning mind dump is, what players are in their prime? I would say that Giannis is not in his prime.
You would say he's still in his prime, or would you say he's past his prime?
No, I would say he's not in his prime. That's the whole conversation, right? Is what player are in their prime right now? I would say Giannis is not in his prime.
Okay, so Giannis comes back next season, stays with the Bucks, and plays 85% of the games and just goes off and is in the top 3 of MVP voting. Is he in his prime
Giannis
now?
Is in his prime.
See,
absolutely.
I don't look at.
Are you saying
you
can only get in your prime once? Is that what I hear you saying?
I'm saying I don't think that being in your prime is something that you can jump in and out of.
Yeah, it is.
No way.
Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is proof that you can have multiple levels of playing in your prime. He left and came back and did it again.
Right. In which you'd say he shouldn't be there, but somehow Michael Jordan is still in his prime. And then when he went to the Wizards and the Wizards weren't winning championships, people started saying, I think that Michael might be past his prime. That's the argument. There's no, he's in his prime, now he's out of his prime. Now he's in his prime, now he's out of his prime. That's not it. That's just you're saying he's injured or not injured. That's a completely different argument.
So who's in their prime? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line. The 920. I would agree that Giannis is past his prime slightly.
Okay.
He's at the stage where he needs some load management to make it through a season. Nick in Greenfield. I think Giannis is past his prime. My expert opinion from the couch is that his injuries are related to age and overuse. And that's a good point there. There is something to be said about age and overuse and your body being able to handle it. When you're in your prime for a sustainable amount of time, that is not something that comes up in conversation. LeBron was in his prime for a long time. Not anymore.
Yeah. Listen, when Giannis started the season, okay, he was putting up the best numbers he had in his career. Of this season, he was in discussions of leading the league in way too many categories to where even the national media could not deny what Giannis was doing.
And then he got hurt.
100%. So my argument would be, hey, Giannis, you can't play this level of basketball forever. He might still be in his prime. However, it's not going to be able to be sustained. So then eventually he'll be past his prime. So if he's
saying that he is past his prime already.
Yeah, I can read. I see what Nick Greenfield's saying. No, I'm not. I'm saying he's still in his prime. When he's on the court, he's still in his prime. He's still leading the league, not the Bucks, the league in too many categories for me to say the dude's past his prime. I'm not going to go there, but I will say
like we're arguing different things because the whole point of the conversation is a player in his prime. And I listed the things that make a player in their prime. Right now, Giannis is not in his prime. You're saying, well, but he could be if he wasn't hurt. Well, that's my whole argument. He's currently not in his prime.
I'm saying that injury cannot be a factor in determining if someone is in their prime. It is a factor of why someone isn't performing in their prime, but they're still in their prime. I'm not going to, if someone is an absolute electric factory but can't stay healthy, they're still in their prime. That's my argument. You, Ziggy, a few other people are bringing up, well, yeah, but he's injured.
How can you be injured in your prime if you're not playing?
Okay, so when Jordan Love was injured for 2 games, he's out of his prime. He's done.
No,
and then 2 games later, he's back.
The argument is he in his prime? Right now, Jordan Love is not in his prime. He has not reached his prime. I think Giannis is past his prime. He's currently not in his prime. Absolutely not. I think Jordan, of all of the athletes ever, had 2 primes. Who does that? Michael Jordan. That's who does that. Jackson Churio, great example. Not yet in his prime. Getting there.
Mm-hmm.
When was Christian Yelich in his prime?
Before his kneecap got shattered.
Bingo. Injury related.
Yeah.
And he has been unable to be anywhere near what his prime was since his injury.
100%. But we saw that because he was playing. That's when we can assess and correctly say he's past his prime. That's my whole point. You cannot have Giannis leading the league in multiple categories and say the dude's past his prime. You can then, if you're making that argument, then you're saying that Giannis past his prime is still better than the rest of the NBA. I guess if that's the argument you want to make, but I don't think that's the case. I would put him in the category of he shouldn't be, but he's still in his prime. And he's going to be on the decline. He's not peaking anymore. He's not going up anymore. He's either being consistent or going to start heading down. And that'll be because of age, because he's been in the NBA, because of how he plays, because of reckless. I'm assuming that if he does want to continue playing basketball for a long time, he's going to have to change the way he plays basketball. He's not going to be able to be so aggressive. And when he starts playing less aggressively, he might find out, I'm past my prime. I can't do this. I can't sustain this. Right now, you can't have this to where, well, he's hurt, so he's not in his prime. Well, I'm better now. I'm back in my prime. Not a thing.
There's a lot of text messages on both sides of this fence, which is awesome. Because if we were saying the same thing, we're both not needed. And yet, often, Josh and I are going, well, I don't agree. Well, I don't agree with you. And that's what makes this awesome.
715 here says he plays reckless. Yeah, I just said that. Yeah, 100% agree. 480 says, I think you can stay in your prime longer in some sports versus others. Maybe the MLB and NBA longer than NFL. Yeah, I mean, usually that seems the case. A lot of times, age is a huge factor of how long someone is in their prime in the NFL.
But it doesn't disqualify them from being in their prime.
No.
What usually disqualifies them is injury.
Or just not being able to get open as much, block the young guy that just got drafted.
Yeah, elite performance. Absolutely.
Right. Which comes with usually age. Jason, 906. Hey, appreciate you, Josh. 100% correct. Also says injuries have nothing to do with prime. That's what I'm saying. 920, this is Jason 920 says prime equals singular. Can't have more than one prime. Giannis is still in his prime, but on the downslope. Preach,
So
Jason.
does that mean he's in his prime, or is he is he post prime?
No,
what is the downslope of a prime?
He's still in his prime. That's what I said. I literally broke it down into three categories. You're either in your prime.
I know, I broke it down into 5, and you don't
in
care.
His prime. No, you gave factors. I'm saying there are 3 lanes, and you can put each person in a lane. And you went, I'm making a new lane over here called not in his prime. That's not a lane. You're driving in the grass right now.
Dude, the whole point of the conversation was players in their prime.
Correct.
Not that's it. That's it. So is Giannis in his prime?
Yes.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. You're wrong. So I don't know.
The songs that we're seeing, not wrong. And we only have 40 minutes left in this hour, plus 2 breaks, to play all these songs. So we're going to, what is it from Friends? Pivot! And get into this music. So many songs have come in that we got to play for you guys. What is your celebration song? 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Freebird is the Team USA hockey on both the men's and women's side celebration song. What's yours? A lot have already come in.
Yeah, keep
them coming. We're going to do our best to play them, and Josh and I will share ours. This will be a shock. We don't share any of our songs.
Well, I mean, there's only a trillion songs out there, so I would have been kind of impressed if we did.
Me too, actually. Wouldn't that be cute if you and I shared a song in celebration?
Aw.
Not so much.
No.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. The Brewers' first spring training game is this Saturday. Find out the latest on the crew when Brewers TV analyst Vinny Rotino joins 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff this morning at 10 a.m. on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Inside Wisconsin Sports, Trevor and Josh, and your celebratory songs. This all comes from Team USA. The men's side beat Sweden in overtime yesterday, 2-1, and the women's side goes for the gold. I think we should go for the gold. Josh, what do you think?
I think that's a fantastic idea.
12:10 Central today against Canada, hey, who we blanked 5-0 the last time we played them.
Do it again. Now do it again. Oh, I swear, if we blank them 5-0 and then lay an egg, if we pull a Badgers and go in and crush Michigan State and then suck at Ohio State, oh, I'm going to be so mad.
I 100% know that Trevor Stroll is listening right now, and I want you to make a mental note that I didn't say that.
What? That's not a jinx. I'm saying I'm going to be mad if it happens.
I agree. Definitely not a jinx.
A jinx would be as if I would say, I've already got my USA gear out. I can't wait to celebrate. The game's in the bag. Blah, blah, blah. Knock on all the wood. All that wasn't true. Not a jinx. Okay.
So how do we celebrate? Team USA celebrates with Freebird. The story of how it became a thing is awesome, but the fact that it is a thing is awesomer.
That's a word.
Thanks. So what's yours? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. Here's the good news. The good news is Josh and I have a few, and the good news is every one of you has a few as well.
We
Here's
appreciate
the very much
the response.
The bad news is we don't got enough time to play them all, so we're going to do our best, and we're also going to read a bunch because what's crazy about this is, Josh, have you seen any repeats?
Not a single one.
Bonkers.
Not a single one. It is insane.
I love that this is to the individual. All right, Josh, play yours first. What are your... Now, this is funny because I came in this morning when Josh and I talked before the show, and I go, dude, I couldn't pick one. I don't know how you picked one. Josh goes, I picked 7.
Yeah, I had 7. I had 7 written down. I cut it to 3 because I wanted to make sure we had time for the listeners too.
All right, let's go.
All right, so here's the thing. When you're thinking about this and you're putting these in, I got to set the scene again. This is not a walk-up song. I love the conversation of what would your walk-up song be? What is your get hyped pre-game locker room? I understand that's a great argument. That's not what we're having. This is based on Freebird being the song that's played for the U.S. hockey team when they score a goal. This is the celebration song. If you, as an average Joe living your life, close a big sales meeting, do a good job parenting, you changed a diaper, you did the dishes, whatever it is throughout your life, if there was music playing because you just nailed it, what would those songs be? Okay, so I'm going to kind of go, I'm bouncing all over. For me, right, my 3, first is a song called Cheerleader by, I believe it's Omai, I don't know. And it's a bouncy song that gets me going.
Okay, all right. Boy, this is 2 days in a row where you're moving and grooving over there.
Oh, but that's the point, right? If I just did something amazing, my wife said, you're great, let's go. You know, now I'm dancing. I'm feeling it.
God.
I'm feeling a little
moves
bit.
I didn't know existed. YouTube and Twitter, by the way. We're live on there if you want to join us for the dance party.
Okay.
All right. Got it.
So that's one.
That's good. That's good.
Now I know some people are going to be like, okay, but like, you know, I need something that rocks a little bit harder. Yeah, that would be my second song from Andrew WK, Party Hard.
This is drinking music.
Let's party.
Yep, I like that. Yeah. Okay, good. This is better. I was nervous that this wasn't, that first one was good, but I don't know that that's like the song. This qualifies. I like it.
Hold on.
Okay.
Because you got to get the guitar part.
Well, you could just jump to the guitar part, too. I mean, that's what Team USA did with Freebird.
Yeah, but it's because before that, the song Freebird, like, is super slow. Like, you'd never play that part. Okay.
Right. 4 minutes and 45 seconds in. Oh, let's grab that part.
And then the number one song, and I swear on my life, I literally, after wanting to be in radio since I was 12 years old, when I got my first shot in radio, when the first, people gave me a chance after the interview and they'd said like, hey, we're going to bring you on. I went out into my car and I played this song. It's from a guy called Kevin Rudolph. It's not a rock song. Everyone calm down. But again, I'm a lyricist.
See, I think lyrics have a lot to do with it, Josh.
And that's the number one song I'll play. I made it. I used to dream about the life I'm living now. I made it.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk In text line. I feel like I've never made it, but boy, is sometimes worth celebrating. And here are the ones that I chose. So I landed on this song by Fall Out Boy called Centuries.
Yeah, it's a great one.
There's lyrics in here that talk about dust turning into gold. I did picture myself as a member of Team USA, and I just won the gold. Okay. That's how I picked. Like, all right, if it wasn't going to be Freebird, what would I want played? And then I heard this song say, dust turns to gold, and you'll hear the rest. Nailed it. So that's amazing, right? Because team sport. But then, you know how this hits.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1. There we go. That's fun, man. And I think that's the best part about that is it's all about team.
Sure.
Like, that's what I pictured was, when the team does something, if it wasn't Freebird, what would it be? So that was going to be the song after 3 hours of skip. Oh, that's a good one. Skip. Like so many of the ones that came in the Nicolay Law Talking text line, or the one I got from Jason earlier, that was Party Hard, or my buddy Joe and his daughter Bear. Paradise City by Guns N' Roses was on my list until I kept hitting skip. And so I was on Centuries. I finally landed on Centuries. And then I let Centuries play through, and then Shinedown came on and wrecked it all. It cut the cord. Listen to this. Ring the bell. I love that. Like ring the bell. That made me think of wrestling, right? Ring
Sure.
the bell. That's the final. Love it. And then I went, all right, well then I want to listen to that Centuries song one more time on the way into work this morning, just to make sure I got what I needed. And then I let that play through, and then this song came on by Fall Out Boys. I'm like, crap, I don't know. Let's just maybe this one too. Light him up. So maybe this is our way of saying this is frankly impossible, but kudos to all of you that were only able to pick one song.
Yeah.
Like golf clap. Good job. How? Teach me your ways, oh wise one.
Yeah, and I got to scroll back a minute, so give me 15 seconds to stall here. But there was someone that absolutely nailed it on how I'm looking at you're trying to do this, how you're trying to set this up beyond, because you looked at it from the idea of the Olympics.
Team, right, team.
Right. I'm looking at this as we were looking at, like, the whole inspiration for me that the genesis of this idea was for Michaela, who won gold, and she's on the slopes. There's no song. There's no Freebird playing. What would be her song? What would be your individual song? This isn't if you were in the Olympics. This is just you're living your life, and someone pops out of the bushes with a speaker every time you do something great. What would be that song?
Meaning, like, whatever you did, whatever your moment was, whether you're a part of a team and you won a gold medal, that's the vision that I had, or Josh when he made it in radio, or my buddy Jason when he wakes up and looks in the mirror, apparently.
Right. I want to read this one, and we're going to get to a bunch of these, I promise. But this was Justin from Port. okay, who said Real American by Rick Derringer with full smoke, light show, and fireworks as I strut into the living room after washing the dishes. Brilliant. Thank you for picture. Like, okay, now you go through that, right? Family's on the couch. What is that? Smoke fills the hallway. What is going on? Out of nowhere, lights. Dad pops out. Boom.
Those make the
That's
best
what I'm
reels.
talking about.
Those make the best reels, the best TikToks, right?
That's what I'm looking for, people. You didn't win a gold medal, but damn it, you did the dishes, and your family better appreciate it. That is a win. Oh, that's great.
All right, what else?
I don't have the name up, but someone had Toby Keith with I Want to Talk About Me, which is brilliant.
And I think my favorite part about this is that they're literally all over the place. The 920 a bit ago says, I'm old school. I Feel Good by James Brown. We Are the Champions by Queen. I mean, these are the classics.
Yeah. If this is the song, this is what I'm talking about. This is the song. You just nailed it in that proposal meeting. You're walking back to your desk, got your cup of coffee. You're like, hi, Jane. And you got I Feel Good playing in the background. Let's go.
Look at Katie from Luxembourg. DJ Khaled, T-Pain, Luda, Snoop. The obvious choice is All I Do Is Win, Win, Win.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one for sure. You brought up Jason in the 920.
Yeah.
His song. I'm about it. I'm about it, Jason.
Love it. Annie, Journey, Don't Stop Believing. The 480, Winning It All by The Outfield. I didn't know they had a second song.
Yeah.
JB and Milton, Waking Lions by Pop Evil. Nazareth, Hair of the Dog. This would be a hell of a mixtape. Actually, I kind of want to make this a mixtape. There's so many songs we can't even keep up with them.
Yeah. I mean, literally, they're coming in so fast.
You guys are in your prime. We appreciate it. Thanks, Ziggy. That's funny.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Checks in the mail, Ziggy.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Josh, let's take a break. I'm gonna do one more, and we can go out to it. Someone said their song, when they nail something. Brilliant. Dude, do this dance quick.
I can't. I tried.
Yeah, you can.
I've tried. Well, you wouldn't be able to see it anyway.
Yeah. So Josh has a camera that follows him.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. We'll keep making the list and see if we can't pull some more. I thought you guys talked about sports. Yeah, sometimes.
This is
sports.
sports.
Is about sports.
Have you not been watching the Olympics?
Yeah, and doing the dishes.
Yeah, and doing the dishes.
You know, waking up with a tingly face. Could happen.
Come on now.
To the best of us. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. See, Katie was right. Josh, do it. Bam. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Playing your win songs. You just won. Maybe you were a part of a team and you won the team sport. And this is the song that you want your team to play. Like Team USA plays Freebird. Or maybe you're in an individual sport and there was no song for you. What do you want to be played? Or maybe you're in sales and you just closed a big deal. Or maybe you just unclogged the toilet, JB in the 920, and you were like, beat it.
Beat it. Nailed it. Yeah.
Nailed it. Or any other moment in life where you deserve a celebratory song. Very different than a walkout song, but celebratory nonetheless. 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. We got time for a few more, Josh.
Yeah, this is from Dave in Cudahy. This is I'm So Humble, if you're not familiar with The Lonely Island. This almost made my list.
Love it. Yeah, it's the moment to celebrate. I think that's the cool part about this.
Absolutely.
And it could be whatever you're celebrating.
Someone else said party rock anthem.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk over this.
No, go ahead.
How are you people picking one? Is it just the first one that comes to your mind? Take that. How are you picking one? What am I missing? How do you do this? And all of you are maybe you're struggling. You're just not telling us. That's cool. Because all of you are just like, just here's one. Here's one.
Well,
Insane.
because the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line in unison is saying,
yep. I kind of want to make this a thing. How do we make this a thing?
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Like, I just want to walk around with my phone in my pocket and just immediately play music when I have victories.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there needs to be an app. Oh, that's it. A trademark. Trademark. No one can take this idea, even though it's on the radio.
Careful. They don't trademark things well in this station.
Well, that's very true. But it's okay. So you have an app that's just like a button, but you can preload a song to play when you hit that button. And so then, like, all you got to do is tap your phone, and then boom, that song starts playing from that point.
That would be amazing.
Kind of like, you know how they had like that physical
Amazon Music, by the way.
That's easy button, like it was and you'd hit it. Like have one of those, but that would play your song
right on the top of your head. Just nobody can see it, and it just plays out of your body has speakers. Try that, God. Next run. Can you give our bodies speakers?
He did. You're using it right now.
Oh, but it can't sing. Well, it can sing. It needs alcohol.
Dumbest thing you've ever said.
No, I'm saying like speakers for music with like, you know what I meant. Get out of here.
You're literally projecting sound from your body.
Yeah, not music. Like I want to be able to play these songs from my body. I'm tapping myself in the head, which makes noise because I'm bald. What else you got?
Okay. I needed to look this up. This is Winning It All from the Outfield because neither of us knew that song.
Okay,
this is giving me like Breakfast Club, like freeze frame fist pumping vibes, you know?
Saved by the Bell. That's what I think of for some reason when I hear this song. I didn't know they had more music. I thought the Outfield only had Josie's on a Vacation Far Away.
Yeah.
Almost played that, by the way. The hardest part about this was denoting the difference between a walkout song and a celebration song.
Right. Which is,
I don't remember.
It is
what
a
Brewer
thing.
had. Yeah, 100%. I don't remember what Brewer had it for their walkout song, but somebody played that. What is the song called? The Josie's on Vacation Far Away. Like,
oh, Frank Calinato. Come on. Frank the Tank, baby. That was the song.
That's what it was.
Frank Catalanato, I mean, it had the ladies going crazy on a Wednesday day game. Let me tell you.
But what I loved about it the most, and this kind of reminds me, oh, dude, I should have picked CM Punk's song. Oh, this is impossible for me. I don't know if this is ADHD.
Cult of Personality?
I love that song.
Yeah, it's a good one. But is that
I don't know.
A celebration song?
I don't know.
I'm telling you, there's a difference. These aren't just hype songs, right? These are, you don't have to be locked in. You already were locked in. Now you're celebrating. You got out of the meeting. You got done with your downhill skiing run. You're done with it. This isn't like you wouldn't put Lose Yourself by Eminem in this one, right? Because you hear that and it's like you got one shot, you got one opportunity, you're locked in. You better lose yourself in the moment.
That's a completely different list, which is the pregame hype music list.
Correct. That's not what we're doing.
How in the hell are we going to do that?
Oh.
Ironically, though, my son has a pregame football hype list.
Yeah.
And that's where I spent the majority of my time. Was like, skip, love that. Oh, my God, great skip. Yep, this one too. Crap, how do I do it? Hey, look at this, the 414. Thank you for not making me feel so alone. Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond. Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC. Welcome to my brain. That's how I looked at this and went, Your Love by the Outfield is what I'm thinking of. Thank you.
Yeah. This is Katy Perry Roar, someone said.
Yeah, that was Jason in the 920, and it's his third freaking one. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Yeah, okay, so he's like you. He can't just pick one.
In so many ways.
There's
Nookie,
still
Limp
good ones.
Bizkit. They're great. I literally want to make, like, this is my dream radio station right here. It's just click shuffle and then go. And there's no
10 seconds at a time.
Yeah, it's valid. All right, hey, boys.
Yeah.
Back to sports.
Oh, okay.
All right. That was fun. That was really fun.
Yeah, that was
You guys
good.
are the best. The Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line, 414-677-1250. Your engagement is what makes this show go. So when we come up with ideas like this and you guys blow up the Talking text line, so grateful. Thank you for listening and for engaging and for all the songs and just putting up with all of it. We love it. We're really, really grateful. When we come back, Kyle Malzahn from Channel 5 here in Green Bay was in the room where it happened. By the way, I went through all of Hamilton's songs yesterday. Couldn't pick one of those. Like, I was just all over the joint. So he was the one that took the video when Doug Gottlieb had the crash out and posted it to social media, and the rest is history.
It wasn't a crash out, according to Doug.
I think
an
the way
uncrash out.
Well, but he read that definition on air, and you and I both looked at the
we
camera
did, but
like,
he said no. He said no. He might have been wrong, but
100% wrong.
Yeah, but he wasn't about the overall argument. And I will say this a million times over. Verizon League can suspend me for all the games. They made a mistake.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, and that's what we're going to talk about, because Doug, the first thing he said in his press conference, and we'll play it for you, when he spoke to the media yesterday was, I don't agree with it. And it is what it is. I'm not the dude in charge of the Horizon League. So if you missed it, Doug Gottlieb suspended for one game against Oakland on Friday night. And it is a huge game in the Horizon League. UW Milwaukee's in the Horizon League. Green Bay's in the Horizon League. Oakland, Detroit Mercy, Youngstown State. The list goes on. But Doug's argument was, you should know these teams, no different than you know a team like Drake or other teams that are mid-major schools that we recognize. And that's the goal that he has for the Horizon League. We'll talk to Kyle Malzahn coming up next after the top of the hour about all the shakedown and shake up that this caused from over the weekend there in Milwaukee. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. Did the Horizon League get it right? Should Doug have been suspended for just telling it like it is? Maybe didn't need to bang on the table. Maybe that was the moment, but nonetheless, he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. I am an eternal optimist. So please, God, don't tell me that you're an eternal pessimist.
I like to say I'm a realist.
Oh, great. We're going to get along great. This is going to be great.
This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Yeah, you're damn right, sweet. In the Olympics.
Now Quinn Hughes. We played 3.5 minutes in overtime. Quinn Hughes shoots. He scores! He scores! Quinn Hughes in overtime wins it. And the United States will move on and face Slovakia in the semis.
Audio courtesy of NBC. Team USA 2, Sweden 1. Off to the semis. The men's hockey team goes and off to the gold medal game. 12:10 Central for Team USA on the women's side. It's going to be a great day for USA. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Joining us now on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. He didn't pay his energy bill. Kyle Baldwin sitting in the top.
He just woke up.
Yeah, get up and turn his lights on because I can't.
Sorry, I'll turn on my light.
Hey,
we're on the radio. It doesn't really matter anyway. Kyle, what's up, buddy?
No,
Good to
that's
see you.
not true. We're also on Twitter and everyone can see you right now. Kyle, turn on the light.
All right, it's on. It's early. I will expense my $1.99 coffee that went after this that I go to McDonald's to get because I'm up for you, Trevor. But here we are.
Love you too. Love you too. All right, so before we jump into all of this GB talk, which there's a lot, and it was the biggest story in sports on Monday. We just got done talking about the song that you would play if you won. So Freebird, Team USA, you know that whole story.
Ooh.
If you won something in life, in sports,
doesn't
in
have
a
to be
meeting,
sports. You nailed a report. You won an award for doing a report. What is the song? Someone just hops out from nowhere with a speaker, blaring a song behind you. What's that song? Not a walk-up song, celebratory song.
There's like so many songs on this earth, man. I don't know.
Thank you. That's what my feedback was.
What was your good thing?
He's in a search.
I'm going to say
He's typing in celebration songs near
I'll just
me.
say What's Poppin' Jack Harlow because that song gets me jacked up.
There you go.
See?
Okay.
There you go. Nailed it. All right, man. Let's play some audio back. We stole from your Twitter, like we do a lot on this show. This was the opening statement that you grabbed from Doug Gottlieb's press conference yesterday, post one-game suspension by the Horizon League.
Disappointed in the league, but really thankful for Chancellor Mike and Josh having my back. But yesterday, there's a hearing. And there's one neutral body from the league who is on the Zoom, Josh and myself, and the interim commissioner, Chris, was kind of led the hearing, and then she circled back with Donnie, who's the coordinator of officials, and then last night, frankly, in all candor, we were told this was a probability. At which time I said, has she actually spoken with Donnie? Because we do have some information. And I don't think that was her logic behind the suspension. And then Chris called me this morning. We had a good 5-minute talk, and it was set to be announced at said time.
All right. So it got announced. You broke it along with the Horizon League, and you were the one that broke the story of the crash out. What is the crash out like on your end, man?
Yeah, that was just a crazy day. There's two sides to this, right? It's Gottlieb sticking up for his team and the Horizon League as a whole. and it rejuvenates this team and gets them playing well down the stretch. Gottlieb showed us that he's a guy who cares about GB basketball, who cares about mid-major basketball. He has a platform, and he's very calculated on the mic. He has a platform that he knows can help power this conference for the good and maybe move the needle on things that other coaches can't do, given his power that he has had in his life before, and of course his national kind of platform he has created. Nonetheless, he went to bat for his guys, the league, and hopefully for his sense that they can get over this. Now that he is suspended though one game, the other side of the coin, I hate to play devil's advocate here, but Green Bay has had a lot of good publicity, and if you look at Twitter, or, maybe you shouldn't look at Twitter, but if you go through Twitter or the internet and you see kind of the opinions on this whole thing about Doug, like, a lot of people are on Doug's side, and that's not the case for a lot of things, right? Like, Doug Gottlieb is a polarizing figure, and he has done things throughout his Green Bay tenure that has allowed people to dunk on him, if you will say. But now that he's suspended, they're a half game out of second place, and they're in third, and the top 5 teams host. If this goes south, there's going to be more dunking, I think. But I don't know. It's going to be. I'm so intrigued to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I got thoughts on that I'm going to get to in a minute. But first, I want to know, like Trevor was saying, you were there. You were in the room when the crash out happened.
Oh, yeah.
Like when it actually went down, before you posted it, before the reports came out and the news cycles started, were you like, oh boy, that wasn't good. Something's coming from this.
Yeah, because he stormed into the press conference room and he goes, "You rolling, Kyle? I think you love this." Because I had asked Doug
daddy. Yeah.
Because I had asked Doug a few times throughout the season, like, what did you think of officiating? Right? What did you think of the officiating? And he, to paraphrase, he pretty much always says, they miss calls, they always will, but it's not the reason why we lost the game. So after he got the technical and he came in saying, "You rolling, Kyle? I think you'll love this," I knew right away. And usually how I work with these press conferences is I like the coach to open it up with a statement. It lets me direct the conversation, and it lets the coach kind of speak his mind first before I ask any questions. And so I asked Doug, as I'm scrambling behind the camera, trying to hit record, get it in focus, because he was ready to go. I said, "You want me to go or you want to go first?" And he's like, "I'll go first." And then he just goes on. And of course, before I left Green Bay, I told myself, I don't need my laptop, but my gut was telling me to bring my laptop. And of course, I didn't bring my laptop. And I'm in Milwaukee with no way to post this on the internet, and I'm like, oh, this is so stupid. And there was one other cameraman in there with me, and he turns to me after the press conference and he goes, "Is he always this fiery?" And I said, "He's pretty fiery, but not like this." And I was like, all right, I'm gonna rush back to Green Bay, post it up on the web, and I was like, I can't wait on this. This is like an all-time. This was the Kevin Borseth moment for anybody that knows that rant in Michigan. That was the Kevin Borseth moment, and I think in the moment I said, "Oh boy, this is gonna do numbers on socials." I didn't think at the moment I was in an all-timer.
Yeah, you literally can do a Google search. Give me the top 10 all-time post-game coach blow-ups. Coming in at number 7, Doug Gottlieb. Like, it's nuts. It was absolutely nuts. Kyle Malzahn, Channel 5, WFRV TV, Sports Department, the guy that broke the story on Sunday of Doug Gottlieb crashing out after the game, and it was announced yesterday that he is suspended for Friday night's game. So, Kyle, we talked about all of that, and holy hell, Green Bay's in third place in the Horizon League, and they're going to Oakland, who's in second place. So the timing of this is horrendous.
Yeah, it really is. Now they're going to have Kerry Rupp, their assistant, longtime basketball coach and assistant on this basketball team, kind of take the reins. And I asked Doug, like, what can fans expect from a guy who or at least the average fan and us in the media have never gotten to know? And he said Kerry Rupp is as well respected as anybody in the coaching ranks, and he's 71 years old. And Doug told us yesterday that he's the best power lifter in the program. So take that for what it's worth. But Doug also mentioned that a lot of people, every time they go on the road, other opposing coaches come up to him pregame and say, "Yeah, I didn't know you got Kerry Rupp." So I don't think it will play that much of an issue, if any at all. Like, you got Preston on the court. You have the main guys and the main characters. It's just a different voice coming from the sidelines now. I think they should be fine, but yes, it's a story. It's there. If there's one thing about this Green Bay team, they've come out on the other side of adversity throughout this season. So I have no reason to not believe they can't do that once again.
Kyle, I want to quickly go back to when you were talking about the reaction and what you saw on Twitter and everything else. And this is the way that I described it earlier, because I don't cover UWGB. I never was a in-game announcer or on the court with a camera for multiple seasons. I'm on, if anything, I'm more on the Milwaukee side, right? I'm looking at this just like a ton of Milwaukee fans too, going, well, no, I mean, that was wrong. Like, I mean, you got that was a mistake. And so it seemed overwhelming, like, support of Doug in regards to why he was upset. Then it seemed like the Horizon League, to me, in their decision and the way they handled this, it looked like they were a first-time parent. They were we don't know how to handle this situation because we're just a itty-bitty little conference over here. We don't have these problems that get blown up and make national news. We're usually in the background, and we send one team to the tournament every year. And they went, okay, well, I'm going to put on my best parenting face and wave my finger and say, this is what I'm supposed to do. You're going to be suspended a game. I feel like this is a bad look for the Horizon League in doing this. I feel like the way that they are handling this situation, especially not even their decision to offer or to declare the suspension, but the comments coming out saying, this is what we decided to do. We will not be commenting further on this. You're essentially making it seem like, yeah, we don't really know how to handle this situation. We've never been here before. We made our decision. Please leave us alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that also is what Doug is trying to get at, is that there should be accountability throughout not only coaches, but on the other side too with officials. And when it comes to the Horizon League, like, I try to dig a little deeper into it Sunday night, and they were all hush hush with me. But you're right. But I also think it was the inevitable what was going to happen, because I thought in the moment what was going to get Doug a suspension was maybe not swearing on the mic for say, or like clumping up the refs as a whole. What I thought was going to get Doug was him singling a ref out by first and last name, because the league is going to want to protect its own. Like, I thought that's where the line was crossed and what was going to lead to the eventual suspension. But I always thought this was inevitable. After walking out of that press conference, I literally, right first thing, I said, well, it's not a matter of if he's suspended, it's about how long, because that's just how the Horizon League is going to handle this thing. They're going to protect its own. He called out a guy first and last name. This is going to be all over the internet.
But then I want that transparency.
Yes.
Then be a good parent. Don't just send me to my room. Tell me why you're sending me to my room. Say, hey, this is not allowed. You cannot single out a ref and do it this way. Let it be known to him, to the rest of the coaches, to the fan base, to everyone else, why you made the decision you did. To just say a generic statement and then say we're not commenting further, to me, that's where the Horizon League looks really, really bad here in their decision.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But the horizon's going to horizon. And
I hate that though.
I know. I mean, what a first task for the new commissioner. Mind you, the commissioner's been on the job for a week, I think, or was just hired like a week ago. And the first thing she hears on the job is Doug Gottlieb calling her up post game. She's like, well, I've been here for like 24 hours.
Yeah, welcome to the Thunderdome.
So yeah, man, like hopefully this is a wake-up call. Right. And I think it all comes back to like just accountability. And Doug does have a point. Like, how many times have we watched sports games that officiating kind of has deteriorated the momentum one way or another? And, you know, we as sports fans, right, get no explanation other than what the coach tells us post game. So I think it's just the accountability thing. And Doug has a big platform, polarizing figure, and I think the tides are turning on his perception a little bit. And one last thing I want to add, I really love the fact that Josh Moon and the Chancellor, Mike Alexander, the athletic director, the Chancellor of the University of Green Bay, Wisconsin, or Wisconsin Green Bay, they backed Doug Gottlieb up on this sense.
1,000%.
I thought that was awesome because that's your guy. Doug is your guy. And you stuck with him when he went 4-28. You stuck with him when he had the nobody you comments, or you had the chair throwing, or you could leaving the Super Bowl. You could go on and on. And this was another opportunity for the university and its athletic department to turn their back on Doug. And yet they stood 10 toes down, actually taking it a step further and saying, we don't, I'm paraphrasing here, but we respect the decision. We don't believe that was warranted, and said we stand with Doug pretty much. I think this is a partnership between these two entities, and everybody's like, is Doug on the hot seat? Is Doug on the hot seat? It's like, what has given you that thought that he is ever on the hot seat? If they were going to cut bait, don't you think, money aside, that they would have just cut bait last year? Like, everybody's bought into this being a 5-year plan. And Doug Gottlieb said it in a post-game interview. This doesn't work without the chancellor and athletic department and everybody kind of being on the same wavelength. And I just thought that was significant that the AD and chancellor went to bat for Doug on this.
Cal Malzahn, WFRV Channel 5 Green Bay Sports Department. I want to ask about your thoughts on Rich Bisaccia, but you just said something about Doug that I want to come back to. You said the perception of Doug Gottlieb is changing. As you know, we have Doug on this show every Wednesday at 8 a.m. So many people have texted in saying, holy crap, I didn't know this Doug Gottlieb, and somehow I'm becoming a UW Green Bay fan. You and I know the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, more than any other year, with him choosing to leave his radio show, we're getting to know the guy. What is your perception at this point of the guy?
My perception is that I respect the heck out of him when it comes to transparency and giving us time. Because all we want as media members is to tell the stories in our community, right? Or just give voice to people around sports. And that doesn't happen without Doug or another coach letting us in. Like, all this cover. And if you've ever heard Doug on the mic, he doesn't hold back, obviously. He's very transparent, and he will give you the time and day. And I think a lot of coaches, whether that's professional, whether that's collegially, whatever, like, they don't give you the time and day. Doug doesn't have to do that. So I really appreciate his transparency to the media, and I really think he's a straightforward dude. Like, he's going to call it like it is. Does he get in his own way sometimes? Sure. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I mean, I think he would
knows
say the
it.
same.
Yeah.
I think he would say the same. He gets in his own way sometimes, to his own fault. But I really respect our working. We have a good working relationship, which allows me to cover the team the way I do, because he lets a media member like me into the program, which is always appreciated. So I respect the hell out of him.
Me too, man. And a lot of people have shared that exact same thought in regard to getting to know him, and not only on the basketball side, but he shares a lot of personal stuff with us on the radio too. All right, before we let you go, you're on the Packers beat too.
Mm-hmm.
What in the world is what was up with Rich Bisaccia? 2 weeks after anybody else had moved on from any other coach, he chooses to, finger quote, resign, walk away, whatever you want to say. I say BS. What do you say?
Dude, it's so funny you say that because I was just talking to somebody last night. They're like, "What's your thoughts on Rich Bisaccia leaving?" I said, "Well, not knowing any inside information on this or having an inkling from the inside, it almost reads like, hey, we don't want you back, but we're gonna let you resign or step down because it looks a lot more. It looks a lot better from if you do it than us saying you're fired." That's how it read to me. Now I think Green Bay would have done that 2 or 3 weeks earlier, obviously, but maybe there is truth. Maybe he is stepping down. It was about, I mean, I never want another man to be fired. I want to put that out there right now. But it was about time that there was change in the special teams because we all know the definition of insanity is running it back over and over again. And the first thing I said after the Brian Gutekunst press conference at the end of the season, which was 2 weeks after the season, I turned to Ryan Wood and I was like, the only thing that I could think about was, are they just insane about special teams? Like, are we watching the same thing? Where he's like, I think it's vastly improved and they were doing so good. And I'm like, they cost you 3 or 4 wins this season. And it's not just it's just a bad year. This has been a decade problem in Green Bay. So at some point, there just needs to be accountability. Now, I have no idea whoever they bring in will be the guy to better that unit, but at least you're trying something different because it just wasn't working. And I know everybody had a lot of respect or has a lot of respect for the man Rich Bisaccia is, and everything we've heard has been nothing but good, and we take that for face value. But at some point, if your units aren't performing to the level it needs to be, then you should be able to, or you should cut bait. And that's what they did at the end of the day.
That's what it seems like they did anyway, for sure.
Yeah.
Kyle Malzahn, Channel 5, WFRV, Green Bay, the Packers beat, and of course, the guy behind the story of Doug Gottlieb being suspended. Well, Doug Gottlieb's behind the story. Let's be honest. You're just the one that shared it. He's out Friday night against Oakland. I appreciate you waking up early, I guess. Thanks so much for joining us in the morning.
Hey, he had to turn on the light, man. Give him some credit.
I'm not gonna lie. I threw on this flannel, rolled out of bed at 7:55, and went right to the basement. I'm like half
There you
awake.
go. See, play that celebratory song. You did it. You did
Jack
it.
Harlow, it's popping.
There you go.
You seem 100% awake. We appreciate you, bud. Talk to you again soon.
I appreciate y'all. Great to see you.
We'll see you. Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. When we come back, are there athletes that you believe are in their prime right now here in Wisconsin? Josh and I talked earlier about the qualifications that make someone in their prime. Zero chance we're going to agree on that, but maybe there's a chance that we can agree on who is actually in their prime, and we want your feedback as well. 414-677-1250. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. Who in Wisconsin is in their prime when it comes to sports? We're live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Wisconsin, the first Brewers spring training game is Saturday. Find out the latest on the crew when Brewers TV analyst Vinny Rotino joins 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff this morning at 10 a.m. on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht, inside Wisconsin Sports. If you had to pick an athlete here in Wisconsin that's in their prime, for whatever reason and however you define prime, who's in their prime right now? 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law fan talking text line.
And I want to just say before we get into it, I appreciate the passion for the conversation. You know, we had this in the 7 o'clock hour, and we've still had people texting in throughout multiple other segments, either examples of players or examples of what they define as someone being in their prime. And I appreciate that passion for the topic. I just saw this one came in from the 906 saying Giannis is in his prime, past his peak. Love is in his prime, but hasn't reached his peak yet.
Hashtag definition once again.
But I think I agree with that. I think both are in their prime, but Jordan Love, and we talked about this the other day about Jordan Love. Like, I think that was kind of the catalyst of this whole thing. Was I said, people are judging Jordan Love as if this is it. Isn't he allowed to have more time to keep getting better? I don't think Jordan Love has reached the best he's going to be yet. Not even close.
Tucker Kraft is in his prime. He proved to us this year that is a person we can count on time and time and time again. One could say he came into his prime this year. And I think Tucker Kraft will be in his prime in Green Bay for some time moving forward. William Contreras is in his prime.
Yeah.
There's a guy that we maybe haven't seen the best of quite yet.
Yeah, but we've seen, and that's scary because we've seen some amazing play from him. I love this one from the 920. If Christian Watson continues to stay healthy, I'd consider him to be in his prime and have a monster season next year. He is at the age where he should, oh, no, I lost it here. Have that line solidified. So your thoughts on Christian Watson? Is he in his prime?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think that I think that if we're going to get the best out of Christian Watson, it's now. And maybe that's just a really simple way to define prime. We can absolutely get the best out of Christian Watson right now.
I think that he is at the peak, though. Depending on how long he stays up there is a question, but I don't see him in the next 2 seasons getting even better and better and better. I think we saw him stay healthy, and then we saw exactly what he can be.
Bryce Terang is in his prime. Jacob in a van. I agree with that.
I would say I don't know that he's in his prime yet. I think that Bryce Terang has so much upside. His ceiling is so much more. I would put him still kind of in the Churio conversation of he's a little before his prime. I think he's got a lot of time left, and he's not there yet.
So that kind of goes back to defining prime, though. I mean, let's just look at a player and say, are they in their prime? Like, are they in their prime window? Bryce Terang is in his prime window. William Contreras is in his prime window. Jackson Churio is in his prime window.
Sure.
Scotty Tiffany says Bryce Terang in his prime. The 414 says, do injuries affect the way you look at someone in your prime?
Well, that was the whole conversation we had. Yeah.
That was almost the entire segment last time we talked about this. And the easy answer is it depends who you ask. The idea, though, all of that definition aside, whether it's peak this, downslope that, injury this, whatever, there are only a list of players that are so many long in Wisconsin right now that are in their prime. Here's a good example. Here's how we can delineate this. Josh, rapid fire. Ready?
Okay.
Rashawn Gary in his prime?
Yes.
All right. Rapid fire over.
Okay.
How do you think Rashawn Gary is in his prime?
It's just not good enough. It's just like, but this should be when he's showing how great he is. But he's not.
So how is he in his prime if he's not?
But then this goes back to the whole argument. So like I look at it like, let's do the argument of past his prime. Okay. Would you say Christian Yelich is past his prime?
Yes.
Would you say that Brandon Woodruff is past his prime?
Yes.
Would you say that Josh Jacobs is past his prime?
No.
Would you
Micah Parsons?
Yeah. What about Micah Parsons?
In his prime.
In his prime.
Do we agree 100% on that one?
Yes.
That is a guy that's in his prime.
Yes.
And maybe that's the hardest part, right? Is so many of the guys, I mean, almost the entire list. Let's just think about that for a hot second. Tucker Kraft, Giannis, William Contreras, Jordan Love, Micah Parsons, Christian Watson. Almost our entire list have all been injured in the last year or two.
Right. But they're still in their prime. Like that's just the unfortunate part of it. The scary thing is that you can definitely be the level of your play and how long you're still able to play and have this argument of, do you make it past your prime, is really impacted by injury. There are a lot of people that came out when Micah Parsons went down and said he'll never be the same. From this injury, he'll never be the same.
That's a valid argument too, right? Because people could be playing at peak prime, again, lack of definition, get injured and never see that space again. That's why I said Christian Yelich isn't in his prime, because we saw a level that Christian Yelich could play to, and then we have not seen that Yelich since. And he's had, kind of like Giannis, he's had multiple injuries since that prime season.
Right. And last season, he had a great season. But it didn't beat his prime. That's why, like, he peaked. We can all agree Christian Yelich peaked. He is on the downslope of his prime.
The 715 says you can be in your prime and not living up to it.
Absolutely.
That's a very valid point.
Yep. Well,
that's Rashawn Gary.
Yes. To a
414. Everyone's prime is not the same. Some people just aren't good. And if you aren't good, your prime isn't good. So Rashawn Gary was in his prime. He just sucks now.
I mean, yeah, that's blunt. But yeah.
So let's look at Rashawn Gary, though, as a great example of this debate. There was a season that you could say Rashawn Gary was playing in his prime. Maybe the word prime is just the wrong word to use. Maybe the word should be peak. Have these players peaked?
There's a difference.
Rashawn Gary's peaked.
Absolutely, yes.
I think Christian Yelich has peaked.
100%. I'm not going to lie. I think Brandon Woodruff has peaked. I don't think Brandon Woodruff's going to have a better season than anything we've seen from Brandon Woodruff.
I think Giannis has peaked in terms of the impact he can have in a game.
Yeah. He still might hit that, but yeah, I would agree. He's not going to get even better than what we saw at the beginning of the season.
I don't think Micah Parsons has peaked. I don't think Tucker Kraft has peaked. I don't think Christian Watson has peaked. I don't think Jordan Love has peaked. Look at that. 1.5 segments later,
we did.
We're on the same page. And ironically, we were probably arguing that point the whole time.
Yeah. I think that was the confusion, because when that was the confusion. You know, when someone said that prime is like a bell curve, I was like, yeah, exactly. Like you can't hop on and hop off. You peak. Yeah, that person peaked. You hit your peak. You hit it. You nailed it.
The only athlete we've ever seen, though, be in their prime and at their peak, jump off, and then jump back in and again be in their prime and at their peak is Michael Jordan. What he did twice is absurd.
Would some people make the argument for Aaron Rodgers? I mean, Aaron Rodgers was not MVP winning or candidate before they got Jordan Love, and then they drafted him, and then that next season it was, I'm sorry, you thought I was past my prime? No. Back-to-back MVP. Boom.
What about peaking?
Well,
I mean, he peaked in the Super Bowl year. That was it.
Was that statistically that wasn't his best year, was it? I think the year after the Super Bowl was.
From an all-in perspective, and maybe we just accidentally went right back to definitions.
we might have. There's definitely gray area, but yeah, it's an interesting point. And I love that this started with Jordan Love and then brought up the conversation with Giannis And now my main focus with this of peaking and priming and who's where really is most interesting to me with the Brewers and this team that we're looking at going, hey, we got a whole fresh bag of prospects that are nowhere near their prime, waiting in the wings. Where do we think some of these guys are? Where would you say the Miz is? I don't think the Miz is at his prime. Absolutely not.
Depends how you define it, right? He might be in his prime, but he's definitely not at his peak.
I think he's still got something to prove. He's got to go out and prove he can be a starting pitcher and throw it for more than 5 innings.
Who are we chatting with on our crossover today, Rami or John Kuhn?
I think we're chatting with someone who's definitely still in their prime, John Kuhn. Yeah.
But boy, has he already peaked.
You can tell him that.
He's not listening.
Fair.
414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk-In text line. Is just help us maybe put this to bed. Peak versus prime versus injury versus it doesn't matter. We had there was a good conversation on this earlier, and it's probably not the last time that we're going to talk about it on the show. Again, appreciate all your feedback. All right, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, John Kuhn from 9 to noon. He joins us next. Oh, man, this whole conversation could repeat itself for a third time in the show. That just crossed my mind. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Stay here. The Brewers' first spring training game is Saturday. Find out the latest on the crew and where they're headed with Brewers TV analyst Vinny Rotino joining 9 to noon with John Kuhn and Rami Makloff this morning at 10 a.m. here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. One half of that 9 to noon show joins us now on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. John Kuhn, who I believe is still in his prime. And from a radio perspective,
okay, wow, are you walking this back?
Has not peaked.
Hi, John.
Did you talk to him about it in the break? Because I couldn't hear anything.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Trevor.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. See, I was right.
I'm as good as I once was, and I'm as good once
as I ever was. Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah,
perfect.
No, that's exactly what it is.
See, I haven't quite peaked in radio yet. Just like Trevor said.
I know. I was the one. I was the one that said I think he's still in his prime. Trevor goes, but he sure has peaked.
Tomato.
That's
so
what you
where
said.
are we at in terms of this peak prime conversation? John, you'll be a good, help us find some middle ground. We had a conversation earlier about who's in their prime, and then we accidentally couldn't define prime. So we're like, all right, who's at their peak or who's peaked? And that was a much quieter conversation and good. But we're not quite landed yet. So we think there's a difference between prime and peaked, but we don't know how to define prime and or maybe peak. So Josh and I are just going to mute our mics. You got about 4 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just going to talk the rest of the show. I think that this is a great conversation because I think that your prime is when you have two different arches that meet at some point on a diagram. And those two arches are specifically this: your physical abilities, your speed, your strength. When you have all of that at its absolute best, and you haven't start to turn that corner on the back nine yet, and start losing a step or losing a couple pounds on the bench press, something like that. When your physical skill is at its absolute highest, but your knowledge and experience in the game is on the rise. Somewhere along the lines, those two arches pass each other. And your experience and your knowledge of the game and making the game slows down actually surpasses your physical ability. So you can't be in your prime now because you're slightly past your prime. Your prime is where those two lines or arches actually intersect each other.
What's the difference between that and peaked then?
Well, there is no. I mean, you're just using different words.
All right.
Okay, good. We spent a solid 45-minute window, ironically, on that today. But Josh, he said something interesting, and it had to do with physical ability. So what I heard him say was injuries really do play into whether you're in your prime or not.
Yeah. So the injury little button on top of this that came in was if someone's injured, that doesn't necessarily mean they're not in their prime, or does it mean you can't be in your prime if you're not on the field?
I mean, injuries happen. Yeah, I think you're muddying the waters with that one because, quite frankly, I mean, the game will continue to slow down. You'll be able to process things at a faster rate mentally, while physically, you see how you come back from that injury. Some guys come back better from injury, right? I mean, guys get injured second year in their career. You can't say they're physically at their prime. A lot of people believe, a lot of sports scientists and nutritionists believe, you're at your prime as a male somewhere between 27 and 30 years old, right? Generally, they give the rule of thumb of 28 years old, and they say for female athletes, your physical peak is like 18 to 20. So, I mean, that's just what the trainers and the sports scientists say about that thing. So if you figure that in, a player coming into the NFL at 22, 21 years old, they should be about 7-8 years in the league when they are at their absolute peak. They're still running their top speeds. They still have their strength about them, but they have the experience, and mentally the game is slowed down for them to the point where they should be at their absolute best.
Is Jordan Love in his prime?
I believe there's a window of him being there, but I think Jordan Love still has, like, the game will continue to slow down for him. So that curve is definitely still going up. And I don't know if it hit his actual physical abilities yet. Right. I mean, you really go back to last year and you can say, his physical abilities were still better than some of the way he operated in game management mode. You specifically down at Dallas when they took too much time in the 2-minute drill, Cleveland when he had a chance to protect the football and threw it right to the defender. There was a couple of those moments last year where you say, yeah, with another year under his belt, he's going to learn from that mistake, right? That one. And keep this in mind. When Jordan Love started, they weren't expected to do much. They made the playoffs and won playoff games. Second year, he had all those injuries, so it kind of stunted his growth that year. This year was his third year. This was the first year there were big-time expectations for the Green Bay Packers, especially after getting Micah Parsons. So now he's playing for the first time with those big expectations. Now he's got a year of big expectations under his belt, and what he has to do, not just to win football games and take them over like he did in Detroit, but be able to control and mitigate those dangerous plays that ultimately lose games to teams you shouldn't, like Cleveland and Dallas.
So we really have no idea, Josh. Anything else?
That's what it sounded like.
That's where we're at. Yep.
Thanks,
I mean, some clarity, and ironically, where we thought we had clarity, John just literally made the argument that we'll never probably have clarity on this.
No, too much gray area.
Well, I'll put it like this. I think Jordan Love has a solid 8 years where he could win an MVP in the NFL.
That sounds like a window of being in his prime, for sure.
Yeah. Hope he doesn't hit his peak. Okay.
I was going to ask if Rich Bisaccia was in his prime, but we don't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right. 9 to noon is next. Vinny Rotino joins those guys at 10. Our thanks to Kyle Malzahn and holy mixtape, Batman.
Yeah,
that
thank you to all of you.
An absolute blast. Absolute blast. The Bears are moving to Hammond, Indiana?
Yep, there's our headline for tomorrow.
Whoa. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Talk to you tomorrow? What the?
Because we're not done yet.